Well, hello again, SSSVEDA contributors and people following along. I'm doing a vlog entry every day in April just to get some practice and stuff. But so far I've had some interesting conversations with some people in the comments, so that's pretty good. Today's official SSSVEDA topic is kind of, I don't know, uninspiring. It was asking about my favorite foreign vacation. Yeah, I've been to Canada. That's about it. I've been to the East Coast and to the West Coast. Well, not the coast even of Canada. I've been to the lake coast of Canada. So I've been up. I've been to Montreal. I've been to Toronto. That's about it. And there's some. I'm kind of curious about some of the backwoodsy parts of Canada. Those would be neat to go to. Maybe some of the like parts that are kind of Alaska-ish, like I don't know, Yellowknife, stuff on the White Pass in Yukon. I'd like to go and see that. I've been to Vancouver when I was little. That was neat. I've made some friends in Vancouver, so it'd be neat to go and see them, see how they're doing. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, my favorite foreign vacation was, I've had a lot of memories in Canada. Gone with a couple of different people. I've gone with my family. I've gone with some friends. I've gone with my wife. Good place to visit. It's pretty nice. It's also a little cooler. If you don't want to go somewhere hot, like if it's summer and you want to go on vacation, you don't want to go to Florida and be all hot, so you go up to Canada and it's nice and cool and neat stuff to check out and everything. So when I did go, the coolest time though was we went up to Windsor, which is, I guess they have a casino there that some friends of mine go to and stuff. But yeah, they have a railroad station there for VIA, which is it's like Amtrak in Canada. And yeah, you hop on the train there, which was at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And it's kind of annoying because, I know a little bit about railroads and stuff like that. It's kind of a hobby of mine. Not so much about the passenger railroads. They don't, I live in Columbus, Ohio. There are no passenger trains here. It's like very large metro area, no passenger trains. Used to be the largest without passenger trains. We seem to get by okay without them. It'd be nice to have, but I wouldn't want to spend taxpayer dollars to bring it. But anyway, it was kind of weird because I kind of figured it'd be a little bit like an airplane, and so we had a suitcase and stuff like that we wanted to bring because we were going to like Montreal for a week on the train, and somehow like they didn't really explain it. They kind of just assumed that everyone who's ever ridden a train had like done it a lot and knew all their rules, I guess. I didn't really have time for that. So I show up to get on the train at like 3 or 4 in the morning with this great big suitcase, and they're like, what the heck is this? It's like, it's a suitcase. You have this thing called a baggage car, and you put it on the baggage car. And I don't know what the deal was, but the guy said something to me like, oh, like if you wanted that on the baggage car, you would have had to drop off your bags on Tuesday or something. It was like, I don't understand that because, back in the old days, I'm pretty sure you'd just show up with your suitcase and they had a little cart they'd throw it on and wheel it up and dump everything in the baggage car, and the train would only stop for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and they'd get all your bags on and all the freight on and off through the baggage car and everything, and then you just go on your way. But anyway, so that kind of blew my mind that you had to like supposedly leave your baggage on days in advance, leave your baggage with them days in advance just to use the baggage car or something. So anyway, they were, I guess being Canadians, they were all polite and nice and found a spot for our suitcase. So we were like the only, like there was a kind of a closet, and they made some space in the closet and put our suitcase in there, and that was okay. So but yeah, the rest of the trip was really enjoyable. I got to see, I like traveling by train because you really get to see the in-between points, which I don't know, a lot of people don't care about. I like the in-between points better than any other points really, so not much of a city person. I like seeing all the industry along the way. I like seeing all the other trains and everything. So I just had a blast. I mean, in fact, you know, once the kids are a little bit bigger, they're a little small now, but I'd like to take a trip. Well, there's one that goes all the way across Canada, and you know, it's kind of off and on. Sometimes they say, oh, it's the last one ever, you have to take it right now, and then they like bring it back or something. I'd like to take a train trip all the way across Canada to the extent that train operation allows. And then I'd also like to go probably from Cincinnati to Chicago, and then from Chicago out to, I think it's Oakland. That'd be the California Zephyr. And then down the coast, I think that's like the Coast Starlight or the Coast Daylight. I think they have a couple different, depending on apparently when it runs. And then take the train from what, I think it's San Diego back to Chicago, and that's the Southwestern Chief. So anyway, lots of beautiful scenery there. So kind of a big giant triangle thing across the continent, and then go back to Cincinnati, and then probably get a bus or just take my car, you know, back up to Columbus where we don't have trains. Well, we have freight trains, but that's it. So yeah, I mean, my favorite foreign vacation was in Canada, taking VIA, and you know, it was nice going to Montreal and everything. There's a lot of nice stuff to see there. It's kind of neat going somewhere where they speak mostly French. I learned kind of a little trick, and you know, maybe you guys know that this is nonsense or whatever, but apparently if someone gives you attitude for not speaking French in Montreal, it's apparently because the other Canadians all know French, and when they go to Montreal they're supposed to speak French or something. And apparently if you just say je suis américain, or like I'm an American, then they're like, they drop the attitude and everything. But I don't know, I don't really care. If I'm going to Montreal, you know, might as well try and speak French. I don't really speak French at all though, so tough. But anyway, yeah, my favorite part was the train trip, so I'd like to do some more train trips, and that's what old people do. So I'm not that old yet, I don't think. I don't know, you tell me. But probably relative. But yeah, once, you know, apparently Amtrak is just a big old folks home on wheels, so I don't know, that's what I've heard. But yeah, I don't mind that. I've gone on a lot of excursions lately. There's a really cool steam train that's been operating in the area. The locomotive that is nickel plate 765. I think you can go to 765.org and check it out. It's been undergoing some maintenance lately, but it's a Berkshire type locomotive, which is one of my favorite types of locomotive. So it's really cool, really large locomotive. Sounds beautiful. I got like a DVD of it. It was pretty good stuff. So that's nice. And then recently we went down to Roanoke, and we got to see the homecoming of Norfolk and Western number 611. And that's nice because it's a streamlined locomotive. So 765 is a freight locomotive that they use to pull some passenger excursions. And 611 is a streamlined, you know, it was designed for passenger service. So it's very powerful and fast and streamlined looking, and pretty cool locomotive. So but yeah, I was talking about Amtrak having a lot of older people on it. I went on an excursion behind 765, and with a friend of mine, he got like kind of an executive treatment for some work he did for him. And I was riding with a bunch of these guys from my model train club, and of course they're all retired and everything, so they have tons of spare time on their hands. It was just amazing because I'm not close to retirement, and these guys were like, "This is the best train ride I've ever had in my whole life," and I was just thinking, "Wow!" And like, here I am. I'm a lot, you know, I'm a lot closer to the beginning than the end, I hope, and here I am riding the same thing that they say is the best thing in their whole life. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, a lot of good stories with those guys. But anyway, that's the best foreign vacation story. I'm not much of a storyteller when it comes to travel stories. I can work on that. But yeah, one of the things I did want to talk about, since I've talked to some people in the comments and they really liked, they say it's kind of weird. There are all these non-technical people, and they say they want to hear me talk about technical stuff. So one of the things that kind of interests me is instant messaging technology. And so I kind of have some rules for like a good instant messaging technology. And those rules, they come from instant messaging technologies I've used over the years. And so it's like, you know, sometimes there's something that it's a feature added and it doesn't really add much to the experience. And other times there's like a feature that they add and it's just like amazing. It's very helpful. It solves a problem that people have a lot of the time or whatever. So I think that should be a feature in every instant messenger that I use going forward. So one of the biggest features is just it's got to be available on every platform. Now that doesn't mean most platforms, or that doesn't mean like with a whole bunch of nonsense and, you know, screwing around. That just means like, you know, they should have native applications. It's nice that some of them, there's a technology called what is it? It's like what, WebRT? I forget what it is right now, but you put me on the spot. But it's essentially real-time communications. Oh, WebRTC, I think it is. So it lets you do things in a browser that previously you would have had to have a standalone application to do. For example, do video calls or something like that. So this WebRTC stuff, it's really coming along. Mozilla, I think they have a demo built into their browser, so you can do like a WebRTC video call. You would have needed like Skype or Google Hangouts or FaceTime or something to do that before. Now all you need is a browser. So, and you know, that's cool. In the future, you know, browsers, they just gradually gain more and more capability. It used to be you needed a video player that was standalone, or you need Flash or something, and now just HTML5 has that built in, so you just, as long as you have a browser, you have a video player. So I think, you know, browsers are nice because they kind of, over time, they adapt all this technology. So I think eventually they'll just be the IM clients for instant messaging and video conferencing and all that stuff. And that time is coming very soon, but it's just not here yet. So, you know, it's okay that all that's there, but it just seems like there are a lot more features and responsiveness in a lot of the native clients. So maybe a little less power hungry, use a little less in the way of resources. So that's one of the things I look for, is it's got to be like PC, Mac, Linux. I don't really use Linux, but I have a lot of friends who do, and I want to talk to them on the IM client, and I don't want it to be a hassle for them, so it's got to have a Linux client. I want it on mobile. I'd like it on iOS and Android, of course, because those are the ones that everyone seems to have. But I'm a Windows developer. I like developing in C#, and I really love the Windows Phone platform, have since it came out. And that's what I like to write code in, so that's what I want to use, and that's what I want to use IM on. So I think it's kind of myopic to go and, you know, pick out an IM client that doesn't support Windows users. So yeah, and it'd be nice if there's a BlackBerry client and, you know, every other phone as well. So, you know, the more the merrier. But, you know, that's when you start getting into web compatibility and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the main features I think people should look for in an IM client, is just the number of people who could use it, not necessarily the audience. Or, you know, obviously most of my friends who have Android, they seem to really like Hangouts, and most of the ones who have iPhones like using, you know, FaceTime and stuff like that, but I can't use either of those on my phone, so whatever. There's a really good one that's newish. It's called Telegram. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for the IM stuff. It seems like the security's, you know, pretty good. They have some nice security features. You know, with the NSA revelations and stuff, I'm not going to assume anything is secure from them, but especially because the Telegram guys, anytime there's like a terrorist attack, then all of a sudden the servers in that area end up going down for maintenance pretty soon after that, and then they come back up, and I don't know, seems kind of suspicious that anytime there's like a terror group or something or a terror attack, then all of a sudden the servers in that area turn off and back on again. So I don't know, that's just kind of weird. Like, I could understand if they went off everywhere, but just in that one area, kind of makes me wonder if they're doing something. And if they're doing something, then they can do something. So, you know, who knows? Probably enabling some kind of wiretapping or something like that. I'm not too keen. I mean, if you're selling security, you're selling security, and if you're wiretapping while you're selling security, then that's just dishonest. So don't do that. But yeah, the IM client that I really like is Skype. It's got, you know, first of all, it hits on all of these touch points, so it's available on lots of different platforms. It's even available on consoles and some smart TVs, though I've heard they're dropping support for that. But yeah, just really good all-around thing. It's available for everyone, and it seems like just about everyone I talk to, they have an account, but they go, oh yeah, I never use that, or I only use it to talk to my relatives overseas or whatever. And it's like, well, you have it, so good enough for me. But yeah, one of the nice features of Skype that you don't see in a lot of IM clients that I think is kind of a necessity is the ability to unsend a message after you've accidentally put it in the wrong window. Now, obviously that's not very useful if the person was sitting there reading it at the time, but a lot of times with instant messages, you send it and you're not really expecting a reply for a couple of minutes anyway because the person is busy. So you have a little while to like right-click on it and either edit it, which is great for typos. We all make typos. So I like to go in and correct my typos. Or you can just delete the message altogether, which is kind of weird on Skype because it's like this message was deleted. So if you really want to make someone paranoid, just go say a bunch of stuff and delete it, like hi, delete, and while they're gone, and then they come back and they just see all this like, oh, he had a lot to say, then he deleted it all. That must have been quite a tirade. So I don't know, it's fun to mess with people with that if you want. So yeah, that's it. And then I really think that I don't really understand why. I mean, here I am doing vlogging and everything, so that's kind of video oriented. But way back in the 60s, there was the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, and they were showing the future of telephone calls. And essentially, you'd call, I mean, in that movie, you'd call everyone, and it was a video call. And even in the 80s. Late 70s, early 80s, I was watching 321 Contact, and they were showing some telephone system in France and how in the future just everyone would make a phone call and they'd talk with someone visually, and that was awesome. And I've actually met some business people that interact with my model train hobby, and I said, I'm trying to kind of, to me, video calling is the future. I mean, that's what the future's been in sci-fi for all these years. And I know it's a really good film device, but I think it's a really cool technology that we have it. So let's use it, right? And so I walked around, and instead of giving people my phone number or my email address, I just gave them my Skype address, and because everyone has Skype. So I ended up calling this business guy, and he had some products he wanted to show me. And so he just turned on his Skype and he showed me around his warehouse, and like literally he sat there and had a conversation with me, and he's like holding up, he's like, do you want to buy this one? Okay, here, how about this one here? And I'm just like, yep, I want that one, I don't want that one. I think I ended up spending like, they were like train cars and stuff. I ended up spending like $300 on these little tiny train cars, which that's not what I was planning on doing. So I mean, just imagine, I mean, when you see something, I don't know, maybe you're more inclined to spend a little more than you otherwise would have. So I think there are huge business opportunities to businesses allowing Skype calls and stuff like that, especially now that a lot of businesses support Skype for Business. So any employee that has that should be able to answer calls. But anyway, I think Microsoft had the Microsoft Store had some video-based support. Amazon with some of their Kindle Fires, I think they had video-based support. So they're kind of testing it out. And of course, in those cases, it's customer service, so they're not really showing, like for the customer is only broadcasting audio, but it's the person in the call center that you can see. But when it comes, most of the people I talk to are friends and family, and so we see each other all the time anyway. And if I see my parents getting ready for bed in their nightgowns or whatever, they're not going to flip out, because if I'm at their house, that's what I'm going to see anyway. It's really weird with coworkers. You know, coworkers really don't seem to like to do video calling, which is weird because I see them face to face all the time. And if I can't do a video call, I just go and I see them in person, face to face. So I'm really, you know, all these people that freak out about video calling, I'm hoping they all like start wearing hoods or something, like just around like, I don't like people looking at me all the time. Fine, just, you know, be consistent. Either if you normally let me see you while I'm talking to you, then why not do a video call? And if you normally would rather I not see you, then go ahead and just put a pillowcase over your head or something. I don't care. That's professional. We can do that in the workplace. Just go and hide. Maybe hide in a box or something. That would make work a lot more interesting. Same with friends. If you don't want me looking at you, just hide. Pull a jacket over your head or something like that. So just as long as it's consistent, just don't be inconsistent on it. So yeah, that's the main thing. Those are a couple of the big features. Just the ability to do video calling. Oh, I really like persistent group chats, which brings me kind of to the conclusion of this really long video. So props to anyone who's stuck along this long. But down in the description field of all of my videos, I've been including links to, I've got 2 chat rooms set up using instant message services that I really like. And, you know, so far they're very desolate and they're likely to be like that most of the time. But it's kind of a rare opportunity. I haven't seen a lot of people do this on YouTube. It's, I've got a link to these rooms and you can join them and you can talk to, I mean, I monitor them, so I'll pop in from time to time and see what you guys are saying. And you'll also get to talk to other fans of, or subscribers at least, of my vlog. So, and it's really, it's like, yeah, it's just kind of a little clubhouse. So, I mean, yeah, there are the YouTube comments and yeah, there's Twitter and stuff like that. But like I said, it's not as feature rich. You can't like delete comments or you can't edit comments after you've sent them. And you know, it's just nicer. You can like throw a screenshot up or have a conversation or heaven forbid, actually have a live telephone call, well, video call or conference call kind of thing over the internet for free all around the world. So I've done this with a couple of things and it's worked pretty well. So I just wanted to invite you to check out those links. And if you have trouble, just ask me in the YouTube comments and I'll help you get connected. Because I'm mostly interested in helping people become comfortable with this kind of thing. I mean, obviously, until people have tried, you know, it's amazing to me how many people, well, they do video calling all the time with relatives abroad when they have to, but they really don't think of it as a primary way of communicating. And I think the main reason there is that a lot of people, they like don't leave their like computer signed on with like Skype or something like that. So some of that is likely to change with Windows 10 as it becomes more popular. You know, pretty much if you're signed in, you're going to have you're going to have Skype access. You know, people are going to be able to contact you on Skype, of course, if you've given them your contact info. So I think people are going to be more and more accessible via Skype going forward. And, you know, if people want to use Hangouts or whatever, if you want to use FaceTime, you're going to have to buy me a Mac or something. I'll settle for an iPod or something. I can use it on Wi-Fi. But yeah, we'd need some kind of hardware because Apple, they just won't let anyone. So I think that'd be neat. You know, FaceTime, I hear it's really nice and everything. Just make a PC client. I'll be happy. I'll try it out. So, well, there's my train clock. So it's time to wind this up. I've been talking too long. But anyway, be sure to check out those group chats in the description. Check out my Windows 10 app that works on PCs, tablets, and phones that run Windows 10. I may get around to making a version of it that runs on iOS and Android if I get into that. So I may. I've got a bunch of other stuff on the list first. But anyway, beyond that, like, subscribe, and comment, because, you know, I'm not always too keen on the SSSVEDA question of the day, and I really enjoy the questions that people have been asking in the comments, so ask some of those and maybe I'll address them. So tonight's little tangent on IM and technology and stuff, that's because of feedback I got from people in the comments. So there you go. Thanks for asking, and I'll see you tomorrow.